Can we just talk about something that I think might be quietly ruining your wedding planning experience? It's not the budget, it's a feeling. You know the one. You are staring at a text from your future mother-in-law and your heart just starts to race. She wants to invite 20 more of her friends, people you have not even met and definitely don't have a room for. And every fiber of your being just screaming, no! But you feel like you can't get the words out. You're just terrified that saying no will ignite a full-blown family war and poison this beautiful thing you're trying to build. What if she gets mad? What if this is the thing that she holds over your head forever? This saying no means you're starting your new family off on the wrong foot. If your stomach just did a flip, just know that you're not doing anything wrong. That pit in your stomach is so real. I promise you, countless of couple out there is feeling the exact same thing right now. This fear of setting this one tiny boundary will cause some huge dramatic fallout. It's completely paralyzing. But listen, what if I told you that saying no can actually be an act of love? What if it's not about rejecting someone, it's about protecting something, protecting your budget, protecting your vision of the day, and honestly, your own sanity? What if there was a way to say no, hold on to what really matters to you and your partner, and still keep that peace? Today, I want to talk about a real step-by-step plan to protect your peace and say no to those extra wedding guests without starting that family war. We are going to prove that a loving, well-placed no is one of the best tools you have to start your marriage feeling calm, sane, and respected. Before we get into any scripts or tricks, we need to get this one thing straight. It's the foundation for everything else, and I cannot stress this enough. You and your partner have to be a united front, a team. Before you even think about talking to a parent or well-meaning aunt, you two need to be on the exact same page. This means sitting down together, maybe pouring a glass of wine, getting away from all the noises, and getting crystal clear on what you both want. It's not just about a list of names. It's how do you want your day to feel? Do you want a massive party? Or do you want an intimate dinner with your absolutely favorite people? What are the 3 to 5 things that are totally non-negotiable for both of you? So much of the drama that I've seen actually doesn't start with the family. It actually starts with the tiny cracks between the couple. One partner might say, oh, it's totally not a big deal, let's just let her invite her friends, while the other just feeling like they got completely run over. That little crack can become a giant canyon the second family pressure get applied. Your partner is and should be your number one person through all of this. They're your teammate, your sounding board, the only other person who truly gets it. So before you do anything else, get on the same page. Decide together what your heart lines are, who's going to be the one communicating them, and how you guys gonna have each other's back when you get some pushback. Here's a little hack that will save you. Agree that no single decision will ever be made on the spot. When a request comes in, your default answer should always be, thank you so much for the idea. We're going to talk about it together and we'll get back to you. It buys you time. It stops you from saying yes out of guilt. And it shows your family, friends, and whoever that you guys are making this decision as a team. From this moment on, it's not what I want or they want. It's we have decided. That united front is your lifeline. Do not move forward without it. Okay, so you and your partner are a solid team. Now what? Let's build your game plan. The first and most powerful tool you have is what I call the anchor method. Think about it like this. if you are building a house without a blueprint, every single person who walks by is going to have an opinion. You should put a window over there. The door should go on this wall. You should paint all four corners different color. Without that blueprint, you'll get pulled in a million directions and end up with a chaotic, mismatched house that doesn't feel like yours at all. Your anchor are your blueprint. This is a short list of 3 to 5 non-negotiable things that defined your wedding. Sit down with your partner and figure this out. Your list might look like keeping the guest list under 100 people, a firm budget ceiling of $30,000, a deeply personal non-religious ceremony, having an adults-only reception. These are your anchors. They are the heart of your vision. From now on, every single request get filtered through one simple question. Does this align with our anchor? If the answer is no, the decision is already made. It's not personal. It's about the plan. You aren't rejecting a person. You're just protecting your blueprint. Let's walk through the most common scenarios that I have seen, heard, experienced myself that will most likely save your life, which is money. This is the big one, right? Let's say your parents or in-law have generously offered to chip in, and with that money usually comes strings. Usually the most common one is in the form of guest list. They hand you a list of 30 friends to invite and your stomach just hits the floor. This goes against your number one anchor, which is your gas account, and your second anchor, that's your budget. Before this even happened, you and your parents need to talk. If you accept the money, are there expectations attached? And it's important that you have this conversation early. You can say something like, "We're so incredibly grateful for your generous offer. It truly means the world. We just want to ask if these amazing gifts come with specific expectation, like for the guest list or the venue or anything else, really." If they say yes, this is where you lean on your anchor. You can say something like, "We are so grateful for your help. It's going to make our day so beautiful. As we've been planning, we realized that one of our biggest priorities is keeping this wedding intimate and to get the feeling that we want. And because our venue has a strict capacity, we've decided together to have a firm guest limit. Because of that, sadly, we cannot add extra guests. We just wanted to be upfront so we're all on the same page. We really hope you can understand." Do you see what you did there? You didn't say you can't invite your friends. You said we decided and our priority is intimacy. You're leaning on the blueprint. If they push back, you just hold the line kindly. You don't need to defend your decision. You don't need to justify it. You can just say, "I know it's disappointing, but this is one of the non-negotiables we agreed on to make sure that the day feels right to us. We really appreciate you respecting that." And I think you also just have to be ready to walk away when or if it comes down to it, right? Because there's a reason why your non-negotiable are your non-negotiables. If you're willing to compromise on your non-negotiable, then maybe you need to go back to the drawing board and see if that really is a non-negotiable. And both you and your partner has to agree on that. Let's move on second scenario of unsolicited opinion. This one is so common. Let's just say your aunt insists that you absolutely have to serve this traditional dish. Let's just say it's a traditional fruitcake, and both you and your partner hate fruitcake. This goes against your anchor of having a day that feels like both of you. Instead of saying, "Oh, no way," you use the anchor method. It could sound like, again, "Thank you so much for the idea. It means so much for us that you are thinking about how to bring family tradition to our day. When we were first dreaming up about the kind of day that we wanted, we both got so excited about doing a dessert bar with all of our personal favorites instead. That's the one little details we've actually anchored our vision to. But we would be so honored if you can bring in another tradition. Would you be interested in doing special reading during our ceremony. Here, you just did 4 things at once. You made her feel heard, you showed appreciation, you calmly stated your pre-made decision by tying it back to your shared vision, and you redirected her excitement to something that actually works for you. This method takes the personal sting out. It's not about her bad idea, it's about your clear plan. This next one is for when you get ambushed. A request comes in hot and fast, and your inner people pleaser is revving up, ready to say yes before you've even had the chance to breathe. This is the PTSR technique, not PTSD, PTSR. Pause, thank, smile, and redirect technique. Think of it like a traffic light. When a request comes speeding right at you, your first instinct is to swerve and avoid a crash. This technique is your personal stoplight. It gives you the critical space between the request and your response. Let's break it down. Pause. This is everything. Do not answer right away. I know you feel like you have to, but a request is not a command. Take a breath. If it's a text message, just put down your phone for a little bit. In that pause, you take your power back. It stops that gut reaction, fear-based yes. And then you want to thank. Always start with gratitude. No matter how ridiculous the request seems, the person asking is usually coming from a place of love and excitement. Acknowledging that right away will disarm the situation. It proves that you're not rejecting them, saying things like, thank you so much for thinking of that, or I really appreciate you wanting to be involved. And the next one is smile. Don't forget to smile. If you're in person, a real warm smile is a universal sign of peace. Even on a phone, people can hear a smile in your voice. It communicates warmth and love, and it separates the decision from the person. And lastly is to redirect or give a gentle no. This is where you deliver the news. You have 2 options. You can redirect. This is for when you cannot say yes, but you want to give their excited energy a new place to go. Let's use this for the dreaded +1 problem. Your cousin RSVPs for 2, even though their invitation was clearly for 1. It could look like, let's say you call your cousin and you pause, you take a deep breath before your dial, you remind yourself of your united front and your guest count anchor, and then you start with thank. Like, hey, thank you so much for sending back your RSVP so fast. We're so excited to celebrate with you. And then, smile while you're doing it, because I kid you not, people can hear your smile. And then you want to redirect or say no. I saw you added a guest and I'm so sorry. I feel terrible about this, but I have to clarify that we just aren't able to accommodate +1s. Our venue capacity is super tight, and to keep things intimate, we're having to make some really tough cuts and stick to the same rule for everyone. We would be so sad if you couldn't be there, and I really hope that you can still make it. Or you could also just go on a short, sweet, and final no. Sometimes you don't need a redirect, you just need to say no. The key here is to not over-explain and realize no is a complete sentence. When you give a million reasons, it sounds like your decision is up for debate. Let's say a family friends offer to do your wedding photography for free, but you've already booked a pro whose style match you. Again, pause. You wait an hour before you even reply to their text, or if you are on the phone, just tell them, thank them and tell them that you'll think about it and you talk to your partner and get back to them, right? And then when you're ready to reply or when you're ready to talk to them again, thank them. Hi, it's such an incredibly generous offer. Thank you so much for wanting to help us on our big day. You want to smile, use emoji, right? If it's a text. And then we've actually hired a photographer, but we are so touched by your offer. We honestly cannot wait to celebrate with you and have you there as our guest. You could also say that you'd prefer them enjoying the day fully without having to worry about taking pictures. And that's it. It's kind, it's firm, and it's final. You didn't make them feel bad. You just stated the fact and politely closed the door. Can we pause just for a sec? If you're finding this helpful and if you're feeling even a little bit braver about protecting your peace, I'd be so grateful if you subscribe to the channel. Seriously, my main goal here is to help you get through this wild wedding planning process with as much joy and as little drama as possible. Okay, so now let's get back to the episodes, and we're going to talk about calling in some backup. Even with the best script in the world, there will be moments when the pressure, especially from parents, feels like too much. If you're a recovering people pleaser like me, the guilt can feel crushing. In those moments, you need to call in your team. This is the advocate and buffer system. Think of it like a team sport. If you're the only one who's defending the goal, you're going to get exhausted pretty fast. But if you have a teammate right there with you, and maybe a coach who can run interference, your buffer, you can actually enjoy the game. Your number one advocate is your partner, but you can have more than one. An advocate is your ride or die, someone who is 100% in your corner, your maid of honor, a sibling, a close friend who just gets it. Their job isn't to fight your battle, but to be your reality check. When you're spiraling and thinking, am I a terrible person for saying no? You call your advocate. They're the one who will say, no, you're not a monster. Your feelings are completely valid. Remember your anchors. You were doing the right thing for you. An advocate supports you emotionally. A buffer supports you logistically. A buffer is someone who can step in and have that hard conversation for you. The ultimate buffer is your wedding planner. A good planner is a neutral third party whose entire job is to execute your vision. When a difficult request comes up, you can basically outsource the no. For example, your mother-in-law is insisting on a specific caterer. Instead of getting into it with her, say, oh, that's an interesting idea. You should totally chat with our planner, Sarah. She's handling all the communication with our vendors. Now, Sarah, the planner, gets to be the one who have tough conversation. She can professionally explain why it's not possible, take the heat, and preserve your relationship. The planner gets to be the bad guy, and you get to stay happy and excited couple. Using an advocate and a buffer isn't a sign of weakness. It's smart. It's recognizing that you don't have to do this all by yourself, and that protecting your energy is one of the most important part of this whole process. And I understand that not a lot of people can access a wedding planner. You could also use, again, your friends, maid of honor, as long as they're a third party who are in some sort of capacity involved in your wedding. And obviously they agree to do that. Then, you can conspire with them to be your buffer. For the next section, I want to be one level deeper and be real with you. For so many of us, the absolute terror of saying no isn't just about the wedding. That's just the tip of the iceberg. The real work is dealing with a lifetime of people pleasing that's bubbling just under the surface. This pattern usually starts when we're kids. Maybe you learn that to be loved and safe, you have to be good and agreeable. Maybe saying no was met with anger and disappointment. So you learn early on that keeping the peace was more important than your own needs. Now, decades later, that old programming is firing on all cylinders. Every request feels like a test. Saying no feels dangerous, like you're about to lose the love you've worked your entire life to earn. And the guilt that comes after that is massive. You start shaming yourself. Why can't I just be more chill? Am I being bridezilla? I need to tell you something that's really, really, really important. Your needs matter. As you form this new family with your partner, it is absolutely essential that you hold to that truth. Wedding planning, as stressful as it is, can be a huge opportunity for healing. It's a chance to start breaking down those old rusty patterns. And here's how you can start. Number one, recognize the trigger and name the fear. When you get that text and feel a wave of anxiety wash over you, just pause and ask yourself, what am I actually afraid will happen if I say no? And get really specific. Are you afraid they'll yell at you, give you the silent treatment for a month, think you're ungrateful? Once you put a name to the fear, it will start to lose power on you. Number two, give yourself a new truth to hold into. Your brain is running on old software. It's time for an update. You need to consciously replace the old unhelpful beliefs with new ones. I am a huge fan of affirmations that you can repeat to yourself. Instead of saying no is selfish, try saying no is an act of self-respect and it is necessary for my peace. Instead of saying or thinking my job is to make everybody happy, try my main responsibility is to myself, my partner, and my new family that I'm building. Instead of thinking if I set this boundary, I will ruin our relationship. By healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, and boundaries are a sign of that respect. Number three, celebrate your wins. Every single time you say no, no matter how small it feels, it is a huge victory. Acknowledge that you did something that was hard for you. Every time you hold a boundary, you are strengthening that self-validation muscle. You are literally teaching your nervous system that you can say no and still be safe and loved. Number four, and this is the hardest part, let it go. Once you have kindly and firmly set your boundary, your work is done. You are not responsible for the other people's emotional reactions. If your aunt is disappointed about the fruitcake, that is her emotion to manage. You can have empathy for her, but you do not have to carry her feelings for her. The final step is to set the boundary with love and let it go. I think this is, the internal work that is a real prize. Is not just about having the wedding day that you want. It's about building the life that you want, the life where your voice matters and your peace is always worth protecting. So let's bring it all home. That fear that saying no will start a family war is super real, but it doesn't have to be your whole story. Your plan is clear. First, you and your partner become unbreakable team. Second, you define your anchors to create a blueprint that makes no a matter of procedure, not a personal rejection. Third, you practice pause, thank, smile, and redirect until it becomes a second nature. And fourth, you build your team of advocate and buffer. Soon you never feel like you're in it alone. But most importantly, you have to recognize that oftentimes it is bigger than just a wedding. This is your chance to heal that deep internal people pleaser and to step into your marriage with the confidence that comes from knowing that your voice matters. Saying no is not an act of war. It is an act of love for yourself and for the new family that you're building. You deserve a wedding day that feels like you. You deserve to start a family feeling joyful, not resentful. Please give yourself permission for that. Now, I would love to hear from you. And this is a totally safe space of the internet. What is your biggest boundary setting challenge that you're facing right now in your wedding planning? Share it in the comment below. You will be amazed at how many other people are going through the same thing that you are going through right now. I think a lot of the times reading each other's story is the best way that we can get through this together. Well, as always, thanks for checking in. I'll talk to you again next week.